No, I mean, if we want to talk about certain things, right?
Let's talk about it.
We'll be able to talk about those things. But if we decide to talk about this other thing, there'll be the kind of conversation we'll be having will be a lot of.
Why is this funny to me?
It'll be a lot of controversial. No, it'll be a lot. No, it'll be a lot of. No, here. No, no.
Big T, big T, big T. Big T, big T, big T. Big T, big T, big T. Big T, big T, big T.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Big Talk Podcast, where we talk about the history of Africans, youth, and everything that happens everywhere in the world. Today we have an amazing, special, great guest with us, and it goes by Eniola Jordan.
Eniola Jordan.
EJ.
Yeah, that's how I like to do it.
Or AKA Uncle J.
Yeah, Uncle J as well. Or just Jordan.
Jordan. So, do you get, do people tell you about the River Jordan a lot when you tell them about your name?
Yeah, it stresses me out.
Yeah.
It creates this awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
It's very awkward for me. I've been looking at them like I've been hearing this joke since I was 1.
Yeah.
What's your name? Jordan.
Like
River
creative.
Jordan. Like River Jordan.
Right?
Yeah. Michael Jordan. Do you play basketball?
Yeah.
Do you though?
I used to.
Oh.
So this is like your year. No, really, if you think of it, 23 now.
I get that. Now why they laugh.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, we're
that one too.
So, Uncle J, what do you do?
Well, I'm a photojournalist in the entertainment industry. I'm also a businessman. I have my own business that I run.
Yeah.
Then I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a social commentator. Then I act as well.
Well, so you're
Doing
like
a few things.
Would you say you're an entrepreneur?
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure.
So, how do you find entrepreneurship?
Of course, it's some people will tell you that not everyone is born to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but everyone can learn how to be an entrepreneur. It's a thing. It's passion. Honestly, you get the passion is a weird passion. The passion of I just want to work for myself. So you put in everything to what you're doing, but when you're working under someone else, it's like you're not really there. It affects a lot of people. There's so many entrepreneurs that never really worked under anyone.
Mm-hmm.
They had mentors here and there and stuff like that. And of course, it's challenging too, because I'll give you an example. I started photography before I left university with my first degree. I started my company, Rock Images, then. And the challenges I was facing, it was like I intentionally threw myself into problems.
Oh.
That type of thing. And there were so many crazy experiences I had. And there was one experience I had one time where I covered 3 events, right? But I'd not had time to work on those pictures. I did not even save them on the system. They were still in the memory card, So I was shooting at one of these events, right?
Yeah.
While I was shooting at this event, the memory card just stopped working.
Telling you, technical difficulties.
It just stopped working. And I had 3 other jobs there. But in my head I was like, well, let me just get home and try to download the pictures then. And then I put it in the system. The system didn't recognize it. I was like, what's going on? I had to try it in another system. That one didn't recognize it. Nothing recognized it. Connected the camera to the laptop using the cable and everything. Still didn't recognize it. I knew I was in trouble. There was someone's 40th birthday pictures there.
Oh shit.
There was somebody's wedding.
Ha.
And that wedding I was the only photographer.
No way.
Because the guy had so much confidence in me. And trust me, I think those pictures were like some of the best pictures I've ever taken at the wedding.
Damn, wait, come on. You're not trying to say you didn't find the pictures.
I never got them back.
Stop.
I never did.
So,
I tried everything. I took this SD card everywhere.
Bro, you're
And then
just
some-
giving me like mad
Yo,
new
that's
fears.
why, there are a lot of
What?
things that we creatives face from
Yeah.
time to time, but people do not really understand. They just think we're being wicked or
Magicians
something.
or something.
Yeah. So I tried my best. I couldn't get those pictures back. I started dodging calls.
I can imagine
know,
how the wedding people would
What year
react.
was this?
This was
That's what I'm most concerned about.
2016.
2016.
Yeah, around 2016.
Damn. Man
Was-
is already feeling like, oh my, I covered this piece. I saw that
I,
guy.
Yo,
I actually
at that
want
point-
to know, how did he
At
react?
that point, I was even gaining a reputation as a photographer.
Ha.
But all of a sudden, when that started happening, it was like, this is how I'm going to destroy my life. So the guy called me, one of the guys that got married called me one day. It was like, you need to pay me back the money I paid you if you can't get me those pictures. I was like, it's fine, I'll pay you back the money, but can I maybe come to your house and take some portraits of you and your wife? And, and everything just to make up. The guy said, make up for what?
Nah, it was
He said, if you want to make up, that means you expect me to. He said, that means you expect me to do my wedding
To go
all over
back.
again.
Nah,
He was
that's actually
furious.
painful.
Man, this is so mad. I'm sorry, it's like, it's fucking me up.
Nah, the guy was furious,
Yeah,
man.
was
I would be
mad.
mad.
He was.
My wedding, no pictures.
Yo,
Ha.
the wife didn't even want to hear anything.
Of course.
One day the guy called me and said, you know what? I just got denied visa at the embassy.
He told you.
Yeah, I was like,
Bro, he had you, like he was calling you.
yo, he was really killing me.
That's
It was
not
like,
funny.
yo, you see,
And I was picking up his calls. I wasn't trying to hide.
Exactly, man.
He said, I just got denied. I said, why? He said, because I couldn't
Is the
prove.
voice changing?
He said, because I couldn't prove that I got married with professional pictures. I just said, oh my goodness.
Fuck.
And the guy said, you know what? Why have you not paid me my money? I said, I'll pay. But by this time, I had a lot of debt.
Was he really this calm talking to you?
Calm?
Ha.
I'm the one that is calm.
Would you be calm if it was you?
No, I'm just wondering because if he was calm, then he would creep me the fuck out.
But there was a time that after
Oh, yeah, I
everything,
hear
he
that.
realized that, look, he's gone. There's nothing that can be done. Did you get that?
He's gone
we
to
hear
Iran.
that.
Yeah. That was nice, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
Do you rap?
Not really.
Do you rap? Are you a music enthusiast?
And in those days, with a freestyle.
With the freestyle now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. By the way, we go way back. We go way
Yes,
back.
now.
Since- which year do we know each other? We're like
2017.
2017, man. In Cyprus,
Yeah.
you were doing your masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the streets. At the time, I mean, like at Joe's, like shout out Joe Jeffrey Benson, dope ass
Yeah.
artist. We
Yeah.
actually launched his career, like no kizzy. We shot, we collaborated. We shot a music
we
video.
shot
for him.
a
Yeah,
music
yeah.
video for him.
I mean,
That he was
He-
he didn't want to do it. He was not even sure. Well, I was
Yeah.
like, let's do this thing, man. And I
Yeah.
think he's doing pretty well right now.
yeah, he's doing well. By the way,
Yeah.
God launched his career, not us. So, Joe, I know say, we did your back still. Like, it's
Yeah,
good. Like
definitely.
I'm super like proud of people that I know doing like mad stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like inspiring.
Yeah, it
when
makes you
see-
happy,
Yeah,
actually. It makes you happy.
exactly.
Especially when you're still very cool with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know? It makes
Yes.
the bond really strong.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like iron sharpen iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I want to like pick your mind on certain like topics about like gender roles for example, like in families.
Yeah.
Who do you feel, like what do you feel like is the ideal setting for like of a modern home, say in society now? What is-
Honestly,
yeah.
things have changed, and I think we should learn to move in with the times.
Okay,
I think you said in the modern,
yeah
personally, I don't really embrace that ideology of that red pill mentality. You know, I'm not really for it. Before, I think I was for it, but then I realized that I think I was just dealing with some personal stuff.
What do you mean red pill mentality?
Like when you say you're a red pill, you're all for you.
Like
It's like you want to say like you're all for men's rights, but it comes off as more of a toxic approach to discussing or having opinions on relationship dynamics, in the sense where sometimes the woman can be almost subdued in the conversation, and it's like, this is 2023, man. Women will be seen, they will be heard. It's not what you think. It's not the 80s. And I think some of these things come from some, maybe I would like to say some religious mentalities.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if that makes sense. Where woman submits to your wife, submits to your man,
So, yeah.
and all those things. But in today's world, man, look, women are making things happen everywhere.
That's
Yeah,
it.
man.
They are kicking doors down. I was hearing some guy talk about men need to be this because men go out there who are kicking doors down. Yo, bro, women are kicking
Women
those same
are
doors.
kicking doors.
As a matter of fact, there are a lot of women that are kicking more doors than you've never kicked any door down in your life. But so sometimes I think we actually need to learn to balance things.
Yeah.
We're no longer in the 60s
Yeah.
and the 80s. This is 2023.
Yeah.
So you can't be working before. Honestly, I'll have that idea that when the man says sit down, you sit down. But let me tell you this, right? Somebody who understands or who has a certain level of intelligence will know that in relationships, things come naturally. It's not because of what you learned or what you know from somewhere.
Exactly.
Things actually come naturally. If a woman grew up in a home where her mom used to do everything, her mom was homely, she used to take care of everyone, and blah, 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 and that's what she saw her mother do, right?
Yeah.
When she eventually falls in love with a guy, she may be all up, I stand for women's rights, women must not do this and blah, blah, blah. But because she just loves the guy, she might not even know when she's doing that. Even when you tell her, look, you're a very submissive woman, she'll be like, I don't do that submissive stuff. But you realize that submissive stuff is just both of you agreeing with each other. It's not more, it's not really about seniority or bullying and stuff like that. It's true now. It's true. So I think honestly, I think a lot. It's true. I think a lot of dudes that really push out this narrative, right?
I'm sorry.
Don't
seniority or bullying. Like those factors don't matter. Like I feel like
it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter because look, a woman's nature will always come out when she's with someone she likes or she loves.
I mean, shouldn't matter. Like
she'll just be a woman. She may be in the office and be the boss of the office, and whenever she comes to the office, everybody's trembling and blah blah blah. There are a lot of powerful women in Nigeria, but they are more powerful than their husbands in society, but in their homes, the man is the man at home, and she doesn't have a problem with it. And one good thing with those type of relationships, a lot of these women get married to very educated men too that have very solid backgrounds, and these men are open-minded when it comes to being in a household. They know the woman is tired. He doesn't have a problem with, okay, let me just clean up all this stuff, because he knows she's been working all day, and she will see that and she will love him and respect him more. And it takes a very smart and understanding, mature woman to love and respect a man who, commits, what's that word? Acts of service. There's some people that abuse it.
The love language.
Yeah. So I think it's that abuse that creates this red pill mentality, which I was talking about in some guys, that it's like whenever they talk about dealing with women, you can just feel the hatred. No matter how much they try
What do you
to.
think about Andrew Tate? Is he like it done to you?
No, it's not done to me.
Because yo,
Andrew,
like, I
let me
don't
tell
want to
you.
call people out, but, like,
The thing
like,
is,
don't know you guys,
I really don't like to speak on people. But the thing is, Andrew Tate is someone I was listening to at one time. You know, but then I realized the reason why I was listening to him is because I was dealing with some other stuff. You know, my issue with him is when he talks about mental health. I feel like he doesn't have enough education when it comes to.
I hear you. He's not emotionally intelligent in when he's speaking about like, oh yeah, fuck it, you can't be depressed. There's nothing like depression.
Because
you know what I mean?
I heard him referring to Africa, saying, you go down to Africa, men are waking up in the morning doing this, doing that. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about?
Have you been to Africa?
You don't even live here. We are from here. You walk around. Look, it takes somebody who is emotionally intelligent, has enough awareness on mental health to recognize someone who is dealing with mental health issues. And you see that all over the country. Is everywhere. You can tell that maybe the situation of the country is making people, you know, really depressed, and they take it out on each other. You know, that's where the lack of social intelligence comes in. You know, Nigeria is a country where a lot of us we lack social intelligence, and it's unfortunate. Like for real. So when I listen to someone like Andrew Tate talking about mental health, so, like, you talk really informed, you know, and then you're talking about mental health in that manner, I feel like you are disrespecting the people that are going through real mental health issues. You know, people that have committed suicide from depression, because a lot of, you know, it's crazy that even in this part of the world, right? People don't understand depression or mental illnesses. Like, you hear people, or you see on Instagram or some comments where there's a news about somebody who committed suicide, or maybe someone about to commit suicide. Let me use that, about to commit suicide, and you say a comment like, he for jump, why they fear to jump, or things like that. You see that these people are so insensitive to real life issues. Back where the country where we've been there before,
Caribbean.
Yeah. We saw a lot of people that are dealing with different kinds of mental health wahala. At the point is like, if you know almost craze for there, you never really try to survive.
Like madness, pure madness, because there was something that was moving around in the streets there. It wasn't Igbo, it wasn't Kolos, but it was Kolos. You understand? on Kolos. People were going
literally.
Kolos.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, for real.
Wow.
So like tapped cinema, that was like Caribbean in a nutshell. So speaking of like locations, Uncle J, I don't know, like Uncle J, I don't even remember what I used to call you, whether it's Jordan or Uncle J or
Jordan.
No. Okay, damn. So like speaking of locations, on your Insta, your first picture is in Esentepe, Green. That's the location. Then the second one is in Lagos, Nigeria. And third one, Atlanta, Georgia. And the fourth one, you're on Arise TV. And the fifth one is in Lagos, I think. No, Atlanta, Georgia. So, questions. Being on these maps, on these areas of the world, like I feel like you've lived in these parts of the world. What would you say like is the difference, for example, like in Nigeria? I don't want to say a center beginner because I already know kind of how it is, but like Nigeria and Atlanta, like what is the lifestyle like there? What is culture like there? And how can you compare it to Nigeria?
I mean, Atlanta is actually calm. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of gun violence over there. You know,
a little bit of gun violence. Did you like hear gunshots?
Oh yeah, I did. But
that shit will fuck me up, man.
I mean, it's
so
okay.
real.
I mean, everyone is licensed to carry. You know, so there's open carry over there. So I've been to was it an eatery? I can't remember. Is this Zaxby's? So these young kids walked in, and these guys had ARs.
ARs where?
Like they were holding them.
Just like that, moving
Guy, I
around.
was like, how?
What?
Yo, so it's
That's like an automatic something.
yeah. But I think the people there are used to it. But it's very nice.
It's
The
just the same
lifestyle.
way we're
is
used to
nice.
seeing our police with all kinds of guns, like moving around, AK-47.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
kind of
that's
thing.
like I don't think other countries like their police hold big guns like
Like
Oh, yeah?
Nigeria, our policemen are just
Yeah.
carrying AK-47s everywhere.
everywhere.
That they
And
use
they can
for
point it at you.
AK-47s that they use for World War II.
The one that remain. Mad.
You know, but
So-
Atlanta is really nice
Yeah.
too. You know, the life there is dope. I like
Yeah.
Atlanta. It's pretty nice. But you know, there are other places.
Who's
Okay,
from Atlanta? Is that where Young Thug is from?
I think that's all those Migos,
Migos, yeah.
all of them. They're not really from Atlanta, so I think they're from Lawrenceville or somewhere. But it's still Georgia.
Yeah.
Everywhere in Georgia, so everyone is Atlanta.
Yeah. Do they have like a different accent from
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
I know Atlanta girls have a particular accent. You can
They sound
tell
like
when you
DC
hear
Young
them.
Fly.
No, DC Young
Like-
Fly does not even sound like.
like
He sounds like a southern guy though, but he's on something else. It's extreme,
yeah.
extreme southern.
It's
That fast talk.
crazy- Yeah. Like I can't even.
What's up,
make
man?
it. Yeah.
That kind of
Chris
stuff.
talk about the
Yeah.
Chris talk. But we gonna get on your ass, something like that.
You know, Atlanta's chill, man. I think one of the places I really like the most is not on my. I didn't put that one on my Instagram. Is I went to Virginia. Virginia is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really nice. Spent a few days there. It's really calm. I mean, coming from Atlanta, when you get to somewhere like Virginia, it's just bliss.
Damn.
It's
No, I've
calm.
never been to US before. Like I feel like the vibes there. I really want to know what it's like because I only see it on like TV and stuff. So like looking, I feel like going there will just be. It will feel nostalgic because you've been there, but
Yeah.
in your eyes, in your head, type stuff. So yeah,
America is big, man.
yeah, it's huge. It's almost like Africa.
It's big.
So like, what is your love life saying? That's my most corny question. Like, whenever I just like, I don't say run out of things to say.
Love life. Well, you know, I've always taken relationships, you know, seriously, and you know, and I'm just doing it as it comes. Mm.
How about you?
No.
Miriam? What's your love life saying?
I don't have one.
Don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very pathetic.
What's
Why?
pathetic?
It's not pathetic.
Oh yeah?
No.
If you insist.
You know, there's no universal law that says human beings must go through life in pairs.
In pairs, right?
Of course not.
But Adam
then
and
it's
Eve
part
ate the
of-
apple, and since then it's been illegal to.
But
be
it's
naked.
supposed to be in pairs
That's
actually.
the Bible story.
Life is supposed to be in pairs.
Why?
Because of Adam and Eve, they were
No,
brought
not even just Adam and
together
No,
in
but
pairs.
that's a biblical story.
No, but
It's not a
Noah's
scientific
Ark.
No,
story.
that-
Noah's
that's-
Ark.
It's
They
also
had
a
to take
biblical
two
you
of
know,
each
an
cockroaches.
animal. That's the.
And
Can you not?
But you know, the thing is this, right? Those are biblical stories, right? That have different significant meanings. You know, we can't really be using those to.
You can actually.
yeah.
No, I mean, if we want to talk about certain things, right?
Let's talk about it.
We'll be able to talk about those things. But if we decide to talk about this other thing, you know, the kind of conversation we'll be having will be a lot of
Why is this funny to me? Because
it'll be a lot of
exactly, that's what we
controversial.
want to hear. That's
No,
the
it's be a lot. No, it's be a lot
controversy.
of.
What
No,
is it?
no, here. No, no, it's not controversial. I want to say it's
Objective.
nah. You know, no contradictory stuff, right? In the sense where our personal lives, we can't really use it to defend the Bible because we kind of fall short.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Do you feel like anyone really understands God? Any man?
not really. I feel like the understanding of God cannot be limited to
Our five
a
senses.
religion. You know, if we limit the idea of God to a religion, it's like you're kind of insulting the personality. Then, if we believe that God exists, right? In the sense where it becomes a God that has a set of rules for us. You know, while some people are going through hardship in life, is maybe busy watching you fornicate and things like that. You know, it's like you don't really get the understanding. Looking at you fornicate and is angry with you. Meanwhile, some real world issues are really going on. There's hunger, you know, hundreds of thousands of babies are born with heart defects every year. You know, so I feel like in this life there's some things we should just really focus on. And those are the things that can really give us the answers that we need. But sometimes we've decided to shut out our logical mind, you know, in the sense where we don't want to really approach things as they are. You know, it's good. I'm a Christian, right? And I feel like being overly religious, or let me say, being a religious person, let me put it that way, takes away logic and replaces it with fairy tales that you can't really use to deal with life issues. You know,
Fairy tales.
and I call them fairy tales because these are
Can you touch
probably
the
some events that really
mouse?
have no basis of proof or evidence. So it's better we don't dwell on it, but dwell on the essence of maybe the stories and what they really mean to us. You know, the Bible says, "Do not bear false witness," right? So you do not want to be speaking so deep on an issue or an event that you were not even present, and you don't have the facts or proof for it. Just get the lessons from it, and let's use it to
I hear you.
help each other as a community. You
Yeah, I
know?
hear you. It's like, you know, when you're like, you know, the crazy stuff is going on in the world. Meanwhile, God is just watching you bash, and it's vexing for you. Like, I feel like certain things in the Bible are helpful. How would I put it? Just healthy. There are healthy ways of living, like fornication. I mean, after like we have sinners here, so like they told us don't fornicate, and we still went to fornicate, right? But and then maybe you fornicate the first time, and you be like, yeah, this shit is fun. Like, why would you say not do this? But then long term fornicating, you realize that it's not healthy, maybe mentally or in some aspects. And fornicating is that's when you're doing something without being married, right? So I feel like those things, those are unhealthy, right? And then I don't feel like as if it's a thing where God is like, yo, this guy, you're doing this shit again. You know what? I feel like it's just like, yo, you know what, this shit, you shouldn't do it, but you have free will.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it, but you have free will. You learn for yourself if you want to learn.
You know, I think I don't really preach free will because if we really have free will, then the essence of God will not be there. In the sense where you won't need to be mindful of your acts. And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You won't need to really. That's the real free will. You're free to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe free will
Without-
is not exactly the word.
No,
but I
free
do
will is the word that people use most of the time. So there must be some kind of connotation to it that relates to Christian messages and sermons. You get? So it's like I won't really say I don't go about saying God has given us free will. You know, because if you sin, you will go to hell.
Sing.
Of course.
Sin,
Okay.
yeah, it's there. You will go to hell. God is not going to. You're not give them free will, so it's all right. So that's
No,
not.
there isn't exactly free
hear
will
that
because that's. I think I see it as the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Those are the rules, So like you're not going to be policing me if I, let's say for example, I steal and then I just die immediately.
Yeah.
Like I have free will to do whatever I want to do, but remember that you do have rules, and if you break the rules, you have consequences. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but you know the fact that those consequences it's just like when Robert.
Consequences.
It's just like
It's
when
hellfire.
it's eternal damnation.
And you know also
Okay, so how
Wait.
do you avoid going to hellfire?
by not breaking the rules.
No, like, okay.
You know,
That's where Jesus-
let me tell you
that's where
something.
Jesus
You know
comes in.
something. When Robert Mugabe says you have freedom of speech, right? But freedom after speech
Isn't
cannot
guaranteed.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Shout out
It's the
freedom of speech.
same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
You can't guarantee what will happen to you after the freedom of speech. Okay, but what I was going to say was that's where Jesus comes in, right? In the place where you don't go to hell, because before, if you sin, thunder will fire you immediately, right? Something like that to happen.
Yes,
because
sort of.
God's wrath was raw. So he brought Jesus and was like, this is Christianity, sha. He brought Jesus and was like, he's going to die for all your sins. So the worst thing that can happen to, I mean, quote unquote, to human is to die, right? So like, this guy is going to die for all your sins. So now, if you want to cleanse your sins, you have to pass through him, type stuff. So anytime you want to, I mean, if you believe in Jesus, you have a ticket to heaven.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
that's for Christians.
That's for Christians, man. But like, I feel like other religions have this similar, like, you can understand. I feel
It's not
like
really other religions I can say. If we want to talk about that ideology of a savior, heaven, hellfire, you know, it's kind of limited to just Abrahamic religions. That's Christianity and Islam. You know, and Christianity and Islam are not even the first religions. They're not the second, not the third, not the fourth.
There's like Buddhist, right?
There's Buddhism, there's Hinduism.
Did you say Buddhism twice?
No, I said there's Buddhism, there's Hinduism, there's Judaism,
Okay.
you know, which is where Christianity and Islam came from. You know, so, you know, the truth is when we are really dealing with all these things, right, you meet a Jewish priest, right? You meet a Jewish priest and it lets you understand that, look, the way you approach this thing is not what was really intended. And then you argue with them. But it's like you're arguing with the people that owns this religion that you took and created your own from. You get me? It's like when white people want to come and start arguing, Shango with me. You know?
Yes, I hear you.
But at the end
what
of
religion is Shango in?
I don't even know.
Okay.
So they might argue and win the argument though. Because I don't know. You know, so I think they'll tell you that a lot of the stories are not supposed to be taken literally. You know.
Yeah, like parables.
Because I think a lot of them were like more of parables which to get lessons from. Because you know, there's people who always do research, want to find out things, go back to history, you know, archaeological findings, and you know, a lot of things have never been seen. You know, so I'm like, look, we may not really find any evidence for anything here, but let's just take the stories, right? The stories are good. Some of them are good. Some of them can't be shown to children. That's the truth.
I hear you on that.
It's the truth.
I hear you. Yeah.
There are a lot of stories that really can't be shown to children because it is kind of traumatizing where you're exposing kids to the fact that firstborns were killed. Why were they killed? You don't.
Unfathomable for them even.
Yeah. So there are a lot of stories that you can't really expose to kids. You know, I think you just teach them the essence of Jesus Christ as a Christian, love, and I think that will be very okay for a lot of people. Yeah. You can't. How do you think this kind of story would sound to a kid where there was a man named Jephthah in the Bible, right? I think he went to war. And when he was coming back, he prayed to God and told God that, look, I'll sacrifice the first thing that comes out of my house. I don't even know why you would do that.
Why would you even say that?
Yeah, and you know the first thing that came out of his house was his daughter.
Child.
Wow.
And he did it. Yeah.
Like I was saying a story about in the Bible. There, like there's this TikTok I watch where this guy looks exactly like Jesus, and when you're scrolling, his content is just like once you scroll, he says stop in the name of Jesus. How would you not stop? You know? so like so he's told this story about this guy where like someone impressed him. He was the king, and she impressed him, and he was like, anything you want, I'll give it to you. So it was a lady, and then the lady went to meet her mom, and then her mom said she wanted the head of John the Baptist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy, because he said he was going to, that's how men were back in the days. Once they say stuff, it's going down. Like, so it was like, she said her mom wanted the head of John the Baptist. She came and told the guy told her, the guy was like, man, he has already
It was Herod's daughter
Yeah.
that wanted the head of John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
It's crazy. But I feel like any religion that you're into, that you're born into, you should just do that shit to the last, man. Just like I feel like okay, yeah, you can learn other religions and all of that.
No,
I feel like you should just stick to your thing and do it well.
I think people should just respect all of that, but they should not really forget where we really came from. Like go outside and do research. Find out how did microorganisms come about? Where did life start from? Where did human life originate from? Where did life in general start from? There's so many things that we do not really do research for, and I think maybe because in this part of the world, the educational system is somehow they're mostly Christian schools or Islamic schools that are run by the private sector, and then you go to these schools, you're not really taught the evolution of man.
Charles Darwin's.
Yeah,
Do you believe in that stuff?
It's not a matter of belief. They have proof and evidences for it, so we'll go with the evidence. It's just like medicine.
Wait, sorry, I don't want to distract from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Prove that we came from fishes.
No, we didn't
Crawl
come
out
from
of water.
fish. No, we didn't crawl out of water. That all life originated in the ocean.
Okay.
All life, man, woman, plants.
So us too
Yeah,
came from.
everything came from the ocean.
How so?
I mean, that's
like lizards crawled out of the ocean.
You mean
And then
we don't let's say
germs.
we will not say crawl out, because evolution takes millions and millions of years. Do you understand? It takes millions and millions of years for things to happen. For example, right? You can't say we just crawled out.
That's
No.
how they visualized.
No, we didn't just crawl out. I don't know. Nothing just crawled out. There are things that just happened over millions and millions of years,
So like
because
on the mountain, like, for
maybe some
for like 1 month. Then
no, maybe some species,
fungi.
some species were trying to change environment and stuff, and then over time they just adapted to that particular
That's
environment.
interesting. Imagine being a human here when all those stuff was going on. You just see like a test, like
But
you
guys,
see
look at
something
it.
floating, like
But look at
a
it,
human
right?
being floating from a plant. Yeah.
Let me show you something, right? Look at
I'm
it.
just visualizing some crazy.
Look at it. It's possible. There's a possible. I don't know the deep research they've really done into that thing, but when I thought about it, I was like, as human beings, our body is made up of like 50 to 75% water, right? You don't drink water for a whole day, you get dehydrated.
Sure.
You start feeling sick. You almost want to die. When people have some certain sicknesses, like maybe malaria, the malaria parasite can make you dehydrated when you throw up. You're having diarrhea and things like that, and then water is leaving your body, right? So you go to the hospital for what? IV fluids to get rehydrated, right? That rehydration is what brings energy back into your body. Doesn't that feel aquatic?
So you feel like we're aqua men.
As in, don't you look at the same thing? It's just that fish is on. You bring out the fish out of the water, and then it's almost dying.
There was a fact that I came across of recent that busted my head. That fishes don't something. Forgot, man.
You don't even know it's
They don't know about something on earth. They don't know about something on land that was just like there was something. The way the person said it was just.
I mean, there's some. Well, you say fish, but there's some sea creatures that are pretty
Like
intelligent.
fishes don't know that bird exists or something like that. But penguins or something like that.
Oh, okay.
You know, those kind of fishes don't know a lot of
I
things.
don't know. I don't know anybody that's really interacted with a fish before to get into the mind
Fishermen
of the fish.
now.
As in to get
Oh, yeah?
to get into the mind of the fish, where maybe one guy caught a fish and the fish looked at him like, "What is this?" And then he said, "I'll be human being."
So
I think so.
sometimes when I watch these videos of fishermen catching big fish, I just imagine the cruise the fish is catching.
Like, what the
Just
hell
like,
is going
what
on?
the fuck, man? Like, because they'll put it back in the water.
Like, what kind of cruise is
I
this?
swear, after 6 seconds, you just like, what happened? Nothing happened. You just continue inside the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad. So, what were you doing on Arise TV?
I was invited to talk about some relationship issues
Okay.
in society.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like your Instagram is really interesting. I feel like I'm dyslexic, which I'll get to, because a lot of times you write in your stories like notes
Yeah.
of what you're thinking in real time. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you hack Twitter because, you know, on Twitter you're limited to an amount of words.
Yeah.
But you just write like nearly a chapter.
And funny enough, people
On
read it.
and people read that stuff on your story, and it's about it could be about relationship piece, it could be about certain opinions that you have.
Yeah.
So people from Arise saw this, and yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I've always been a social commentator right from time. For a long time.
Yeah.
You know, there was just a little break in my life when we did Cyprus.
Yeah.
You know, but I've always been a social commentator. I've always been invited for interviews and things like that. You know, so, and I think it's because I'm pretty opinionated on certain interesting topics. You know, and recently relationships became one of them. You know, but now I don't even talk about relationships anymore. Because you know why?
Why?
Right.
Because my thinking evolves all the time.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I could be kind of person that these are the things we need to do. We need to do in relationship, but now I'm of the opinion that is of, look, relationship is not the end of the world. There are other things we should focus on. You know, like I said before, I don't believe we need to go through life in pairs. You know, it's always nice to find somebody who gets you and everything, but at the same time, I'm not really. Who says you must really deal with? There's something that all they do is enter one relationship problem, so the next relationship is another problem, and they get addicted to relationship problems.
Yeah.
They just, if they get into
Like
a peaceful,
Stockholm syndrome.
if they get into a peaceful relationship, they try to cause chaos.
Yeah.
They try to cause chaos. You know, try to, you know,
That's
because
what awareness. That I just feel like awareness, knowing, like if shit just keeps going, if you're just intention a lot in your life, just look for more reasons why this is going on. And I feel like if you're just aware of your toxic traits, of things that you can just let down your ego and be like, yes, I was wrong. If you can like take some accountability of certain things, man, like your life will have a huge advance in quality.
yeah, accountability goes a
Yeah.
long way actually. But
Because someone can be toxic and like just be like always like misunderstanding people, or like always thinking people are the problem and you're not the problem,
or always feeling misunderstood.
exactly.
You know, and there's a thing about people that always feel misunderstood. The problem is you expect too much from people, first of all. That's one particular trait I noticed in those kind of people. They expect a lot from people. I'm of the opinion that nobody owes you nothing in this life. Nobody owes you nothing. If you think certain people owe you loyalty, and you want to be walking around living like that, you will just be hurting yourself every time, because you're expecting too much from human beings. And I don't roll that way. You know, so it creates a toxic trait in you
Exactly.
without even knowing that it's toxic.
Yeah.
But instead you think you're trying to call out people for not doing right by you. But the truth is, you are just toxic. You just can't understand that, look, human beings will be human beings. They will not always serve you.
Yeah.
See, everyone's biggest problem is their own problem.
Yeah,
Type stuff.
facts. That's the truth.
Interesting. I agree with what you said. Like, yeah, I feel like we should be aware of our entitlement when we feel entitled to things. Like, oh shit, I'm feeling entitled now. It's not like as if this person owes me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, it's even like as deep as family. Like sometimes you can be like, oh yeah, this is my parents, so they owe me this because they're my parents. But it gets to a certain stage in life where you're like, you know what, these people, like, they've done a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how can I give back? Like, these guys don't owe me shit actually.
That, in fact, that's the only headache that I feel like as young people we should have, like how I need to make sure my parents are really happy, you know, and I want to be responsible for their happiness. You know, that one will make more sense. That's the only fulfillment the parents actually needs from their child. And I feel like if you're able to do that, you know, they will respect you, you know, respect your choices, you know, you're independent, you're taking care of them, they're happy with you and everything. It creates peace. So I think we need to just learn not to be selfish as human beings.
We need to learn how to be selfish.
Learn how not to be selfish.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it comes to family.
Yeah.
Family is important.
Exactly. You feel like selfishness is like has its good sides as well?
No, I won't call it selfishness. Selfishness is definitely not
selfishness is bad. Completely.
It's bad. But the thing is, you don't need to be a fool.
Like,
that's one thing.
Don't give from.
Yeah. Don't
when your cup is empty or something.
Exactly.
Like
you don't need to be a fool.
You don't need to empty your cup.
Everything you need to do in this life, like you said before, you need to be aware.
Yeah.
So there needs to be consciousness. As you have consciousness in whatever you're doing, you must apply intelligence.
Yeah.
And if you're going to apply intelligence when you're dealing with people, you know when it's time to be selfless and when it's time to relax.
Yeah.
You must know when to abound and to abase. Very important.
Yeah, I think that card is full. Mad. So I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Is there? I love this, man. This conversation was very podcasty. Like, I definitely enjoyed this one. It's been a minute since we've done a podcast, and shouts out to Uncle Jay. Yeah, I mean like shorts.
Yeah.
So I don't know when this comes out, but when it comes, it come out when it come out. Probably cut this part out. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Anytime now.
Jay. We go way back, man. Like,
anytime.
Can't wait to see what is coming. Like with not Rockmaker. Do you remember Rockmaker?
Yes, sir.
We're going to start a company called Rockmaker because it's Rock Images and I am Maker.
Yeah.
So, what's up with Rock Images? Instagram there's nothing.
I'm starting Rock Images again. I'm rebranding Rock Images again into more of film now. Short dramas, short films.
Yeah.
And things like that. So there are a few things in the works right there. So with time, you know, so I had to shelf it for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that I could never throw Rock Images away. Rock Images is what gave me life.
That's
that's
what
my
we call
baby.
your photography company, or what is the category of Rock Images as a company?
It's a media agency.
Okay.
You know, but it started as a photography company.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's media. Basically film.
Yeah.
Film, TV, and stuff like that.
So we should look forward to the relaunch of Rock Images.
Yeah,
is there
for
anything
sure.
else you'd like to plug?
Nah, just that.
Nah, just that, yeah.
Just that.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet.
Just follow me on Instagram, you'll get to know a little bit more about me.
Instagram at
Eniola Jordan.
At Eniola. To be in the description of the video anyway, so please check the description of the video to find out more about Eniola Jordan. I mean, do you have stuff to plug?
Sure. Follow Corner, Instagram,
You said this
Twitter,
the last episode.
and myself, of course.
But you said it just exactly the same way you said it, just saying it now.
And I'm plugging the same thing today.
Okay. I mean, if you want to just watch the last episode, you know what she's plugging.
Oh, please.
It will be in the description of the video. Thanks for liking, subscribing, following. Please keep subscribing. We need to get our followers up. Don't worry. Like, Big Talk is coming. We're coming heavy this year. Don't worry.
Big Talk.
Water seasoning. You get the fucking vibes. It's Big Talk Biggest Podcast. Peace. We outside.